Decision making is continuous. Decisions can be simple, such as deciding what to order from a menu, but sometimes they can be more complex. Their consequences and their effects can vary from minimal impact to your daily life to having major impacts. At the start of our sailing journey, the decisions we had to make were relatively quite simple. It started with the trip to Aotearoa, where we decided to go on our first ever sailing experience. This led to the decision to buy a Hobie 16, which led to the decision to buy our first keelboat Eva May, which led to our decision to go ocean sailing, and eventually leading to our decision to buy Tāiko. Once we made our decision to buy Tāiko, our decision started to become more complex.
Hey darling, can I tell you what's been on my mind? Sick and tired of the 9 to 5 in the city.
Today is the last day in our house. We've just packed everything up over the last 6 weeks or so, but yeah, really in a very empty house right now, and over the next 2 days we'll be heading up to the boat. So
yeah. The house is pretty empty, and as you can hear, it's probably echoey. It's been quite a full-on 6 weeks as Adam and I have continued to work and meet our work commitments, but at the same time we've had to empty a 3-bedroom home into literally all we can take onto the boat. So the car is pretty full of the stuff that we've agreed that will come on Tāiko, and we'll go from there. But it's been an amazing experience, giving up a lot of our stuff. It's been actually quite liberating, to be honest. Deciding to become full-time liveaboards meant we were now deciding to adopt a completely different lifestyle. We now had to decide what to do with our home, our belongings, our careers. Like all decisions, these had consequences, and the consequences for us were to our earning potential, our finances, our comfort, our private space, but also our hobbies. More importantly, we would need to make Tāiko liveaboard friendly. As we packed up our belongings and walked away from the life that we were so comfortable in, we constantly wondered if we had made the right decision. Deciding to go ocean sailing meant that we had decided to leave New Zealand by sailboat, which required us to meet Cat 1 requirements, but deciding to leave New Zealand meant that we had now entered into a more complicated decision-making process. We would now have to constantly make decisions about weather, passages, shelter, safety, security, when to stay, when to go, how long to stay, where would we go next, constantly assessing, agonising, deciding.
So we were just here at the entrance to the bay where the caves are, and it's got really windy. Like, what was the top wind speed? 42 knots, it's accelerating through. Just got to check out all this, see how it's all good. And then you've got this entranceway right through there to the other side of the Asawas, and it's cutting through. There's a really tall hill there, right in the middle of the pass at the moment. This is the narrowest part of the pass. And just got a bit ridiculous, so we timed it and did a 180, and we were just sailing out under head sail.
But now we were going to make one of the biggest decisions we had made since starting the sailing journey.
So today is the 9th of October 2024, and yesterday we made a huge decision.
We've been contemplating it for maybe since we've been here, but after going back and forth, we not pulled the pin, but we sealed the deal and said we're now committed. We have decided that we're going to stay during the cyclone season in New Caledonia.
And there's some very good reasons for that.
We'll go through those later.
Yep.
You're looking at the pros and cons of actually staying here during cyclone season, and it's very, very, very tempting. To do that would mean we'd have to rent a marina berth for 7.5 months, because you need a guaranteed spot should a cyclone come.
Well, the other option is you go into the mangroves, but we draw quite a lot, and
who else is going in the mangroves?
It's a bit of an unknown.
Yeah.
It's not exactly a great plan for us.
We don't really want to spend money on 7.5 months of a marina berth, of which we might use a little bit of.
Yeah. So we're going to stick to our original plan and head off to Australia. Right now, we've only got a few days before we have to fly out to New Zealand, and we've got a lot on our plates.
Yes, so come with us and see us as we prepare to leave Taiko for a few weeks while we're in New Zealand, but also prepare for the cyclone season.
Yeah.
So let's go.
Okay, let's do it.
So first job is to pay the marina office, which we've just done, and the next job is to actually pay the guy
To see our man.
whose berth we'll be on.
Yeah.
So we need to go and organise all of that.
So we're just going to his kiosk now. Hopefully
Yeah.
he's there. So our man wasn't there, which is fine. He's out on the pontoons. So we're going to take the walk around to the chandlery, and we're going to get some fresh dock lines and some fresh fenders.
But we didn't put enough money across and we didn't have internet, so we had to go all the way back to Te Tāiko to move some money over, and then all the way back to the chandlery.
Okay, so success at the chandlers this time. We've got a couple of extra fenders, and we've got another 24 metres of dock line.
With dock lines and fenders in hand, it was now time for the next job, preparing Taiko for cyclone season, which involves sorting out the freezer and stripping her exterior before moving her to her new berth. It's been a big day today. Started at 5 AM, probably been awake since about 1, and now we're taking down the canvas, Taiko's lee cloths and cockpit enclosure. Adam's taking the, what are they called? Adam's taking the jack lines off the deck, and we'll leave the Bimini and Dodger up until Saturday before we go, just so we get the most out of it. But yeah, it's exciting, but it looks pretty sad. Taiko's, if you've seen her all geared up, she's actually a beautiful looking boat, and she still is beautiful looking, but we're not used to seeing her so bare. Looks a bit sad, really. Anyway, hopefully more people can see the sailing YouTube sticker and subscribe.
Yeah, it's all good. It's also a bit of a time to clean things and wash things and stuff as well. So the one really frustrating thing that got to me this morning, I have to admit, I was thinking hard about the forepeak when we were stacking all the stuff in before we started. Do we need anything in the forepeak locker? Because once all the sails are stacked in there, it's going to be hard to get at it. It will be impossible. We have to empty it. Of course, the chafe protection for the lines, for the dock lines, is in there. There was a tense moment and a little bit of frustration. So anyway, we're onto it now. And also the other thing I would say is, can I just take the camera?
Hang on. And I know what he's going to show you, and this is a problem, because now that we're taking everything down, he's noticed first mate duties aren't being done. So don't believe him.
There's a lot of polishing needing to be done. You know, we've had all the pleasure of a season cruising. This is payback time, Vicki.
Quick, put it all back together before he realises.
You can't have all the pleasure and no pain.
I'm going to just put everything back together before Adam starts finding more jobs for us to do when we're back.
Actually,
Quick, help! Living with the decision meant that we had to accept the opportunities and the challenges.
we will just see what happens and be as prepared as we can be, really. And we're very excited.
The opportunity to learn about a culture and another language, accepting that our insurance was going to cost more because we were now staying in the South Pacific. Remembering which way to look when crossing the road. More importantly, accepting the risk of staying in the cyclone belt. As humans, we tend to focus so much on the risk that we often forget the opportunities and the rewards. When we had decided to become full-time liveaboards, some people thought we were making a huge mistake because they believed we were risking our careers and financial security. If we had listened to them, we wouldn't have had the opportunities or experiences we've had to date, and we would have missed out on important friendships too. So we're in real time here, and as you can tell, we're no longer in New Caledonia. We're rugged up, and you can tell we're back in New Zealand. So there's one more job left for us to do, and we'll tell you in next week's video what that is.
Wish us luck.
Wish us luck. Hold fingers and toes for us, but wish us luck. But for now, these are the reasons why we have decided to stay in New Caledonia.
Why would we stay in Noumea through the cyclone season? What's the reason?
Well, the first one is because we want to stay in New Caledonia. We feel we haven't actually seen it. We've only seen a couple of the islands, and it's the world's largest lagoon, and it's got a lot of marine reserves and little islands, and we really haven't given it the time that it needs.
Yeah, plus also staying there is a bit more strategic than going all the way to Australia, because it puts us in a position to go back to northern Vanuatu, which we couldn't get to this current season or last season. So
Yes.
it means we can get back there reasonably easily.
And so what we realised is you can only really see two countries or two islands in the Pacific during a season. If you really want to see them properly, you have to give them the time to see them, and we spent far too long in Fiji.
It's easy to bite off too much.
Yes, it's easy to bite off too much, so that's the reasons why. If you enjoy our videos, please consider subscribing, giving us a thumbs up, and sharing with those who you think will enjoy it too. A massive thank you to our Patreons for your support. It means a lot to us. Thank you again, and see you next Sunday.